Welcome to our channel. In this video, I talked about a very interesting mix of two subjects, neuroscience and economics, which is called neuroeconomics. I went deep into how our brain makes decisions. I also spoke about a special chemical in our brain called dopamine, which is really important when we take risks. Lastly, I showed how knowing about our brain's focus on social hints from others can totally change the way we do business and make it much better. Neuroeconomics is a field where experts from three subjects, neuroscience, economics, and psychology, work together. They study how people make decisions about money and how this affects their brains. They also look at how economic ideas can be improved by understanding how the brain works. This helps us understand why people make certain choices and how we make better economic models. Neuroeconomics is about how the brain works when it comes to money. It focuses on small parts of the brain like chemicals and nerve cells and how they affect our decisions. This is different from behavioral economics, which is mostly led by economists, but neuroeconomics involves experts from all three subjects. Let us discuss about the role neurotransmitters play in economic decision making. Neurotransmitters play a big role in how we make decisions about money. They help control how we feel about things and how we decide between different choices. Dopamine. It helps us value different outcomes when we make decisions. It makes us more willing to take risks, especially when it comes to money. People with higher dopamine levels are more likely to take risks with their investments. Serotonin. It affects how impulsive we are. People with lower serotonin levels tend to make more impulsive decisions, especially when it comes to risks. They also value harm less in moral decisions. It helps control how much we care about the future. People with lower serotonin levels are more likely to prefer immediate rewards over long-term ones. Oxytocin. It helps us trust others and work well with them. People with more oxytocin in their system are more likely to cooperate and work together. Testosterone. It makes men more likely to take risks, especially when they feel competitive or dominant. Men with higher testosterone levels are more likely to invest in risky stocks or businesses. Stress hormones. They can make us more likely to take risks, especially in men. When we have high levels of stress hormones like cortisol, we are more likely to take risks with our money. Arginine vasopressin. It helps us work well with others and cooperate. People with more AVP are more likely to work together and form strong social bonds. As we age, the systems in our brain that control these neurotransmitters change. This can affect how we make economic decisions. Understanding how these neurotransmitters work can help us build better models of how people make decisions and come up with better strategies for making choices about money. Neurotransmitters can help make economic policies that are tailored to each person's needs and preferences. This is because understanding these tiny chemical messengers in our brain can show us how different people think and make decisions. By studying how our brain reacts to advertisements, we can design better marketing campaigns that catch people's attention and make them more likely to buy a product or service. Studying neurotransmitters in financial decisions can help make more accurate models of how people manage their money and make investments. This can help investors make better choices and possibly earn more money. We can add what we learn from neurotransmitters to economic models to better understand how humans make decisions. This can help us make more accurate predictions about how economics will work in the future. There are still many things we don't know about how neurotransmitters affect economic decisions. More research is needed to fully understand these connections. The real-world applications of neuroeconomics, like predicting how people will act in certain situations, still need more research to be fully understood. Overall, learning about neurotransmitters and how they affect our economic decisions is a growing field that can teach us a lot about how people think and make choices. This knowledge can help improve economic policies, marketing strategies, and investment strategies in the future. Neuroeconomics, a field that combines knowledge from neuroscience, economics, and psychology, can help us understand why people make the decisions they do. This can help companies make better decisions about marketing and selling things. While we can't always predict the future perfectly, neuroeconomics can still give us useful information in many ways. Neuroeconomics can help us understand how the brain works when we make decisions. For example, it tells us that a chemical called dopamine is involved in feeling rewarded. This can help companies design marketing campaigns that give people that good feeling. Neuroeconomics can tell us about the things that make people want to buy something. This can be things like emotions, what other people think, and how well they understand something. Companies can use this information to design better marketing strategies that appeal to their target customers. By studying how people's brains respond to different marketing messages, neuroeconomics can help companies figure out what kinds of things people will be interested in buying. Neuroeconomics can help companies learn about the different ways people think and make decisions. This can help them create marketing campaigns that are tailored to the needs and preferences of specific groups of customers. Dopamine plays an important part in deciding how much risk someone takes in their economic choices. People with more dopamine in their brains tend to be more willing to take risks when making financial decisions. They are less scared of losing money and are more likely to try new things. Dopamine may affect people's willingness to take risks in different ways. For example, it might make someone more willing to invest in the stock market, but not make them more likely to try dangerous sports. Some people have genes that make them more likely to take risks. The DRD4 gene has a version called 7R+, which seems to be linked to taking more risks. Dopamine helps us decide which choices are better, especially when there is the chance to get a reward. When dopamine levels are increased, people tend to choose more risky options when there is the chance to make more money. But if there's no chance to make more money, their choices don't change much. Dopamine is important for telling our brains when something is good or valuable. It helps us learn to like things that are good for us and to avoid things that are not. In the brain, dopamine works especially well in a part called the nucleus accumbens, which is important for learning about rewards and making decisions about risks. Dopamine also seems to be linked to taking risks when we get a certain feeling of understanding or insight. On the other hand, if we stop dopamine from working, it can make people less likely to take risks. In some experiments, when researchers blocked dopamine, people made fewer risky choices. So, understanding how dopamine affects risk-taking can help us make better decisions about managing risks. It can also help economists build better models to predict how people will behave in different situations. But there's still a lot we don't know, and we need to do more research to fully understand how dopamine works in the real world. Let us discuss about how and why the brain evolved to pay attention to other people. The brain's ability to pay attention to other people has evolved over time because it helps us get important social information and coordinate our behavior. This makes us better at things like finding good food, finding mates, and avoiding danger. Our brains have two different ways to do this. A fast, simple way that reacts quickly to things like faces and movement, and a more complex way that takes into account the context of a situation. It's natural for us to pay attention to other people, and it gives us valuable information about who they are, how they feel, and what they want. This helps us make better decisions and stay safe. Our ability to focus on socially important things probably gave our ancestors an advantage in surviving and raising their families. The brain's attention system isn't just about managing limited resources. It's more about making sure our behavior is aimed in the right direction and working together with other parts of the brain. It helps us choose what to focus and to do it quickly and efficiently. This is important because sometimes different parts of the brain want to do different things at the same time, and our attention system helps us decide which one to listen to. In summary, the brain's ability to pay attention to others is a key part of how we interact with the world and survive. It has evolved over time to help us get important social information and work together as a group. The brain has both simple, fast ways and more complex, context-aware ways to do this, and both are important for us to function well in social situations. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, I would like to receive your support. Please give it a like, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel.